Young hunter Mathgowan is an afterthought in the village of Midan. Orphaned like many his age after war all but extinguished the generation past, he eagerly accepts a spirit's guidance to greatness. Relying on the advice of the spirit, Mathgowan becomes a beloved chieftain of great power and wisdom to the villagers of Midan and beyond. While nobly steering his people to a time of sustainable prosperity, he begins to question the honor of the voice heard only inside his head. As his empathetic leadership teeters dangerously towards the spirit's urge for autocratic rule, Mathgowan must decide whether his guide is a messenger of divine intervention or malevolent intention. So, the Name of the Bear by Daryl J. Ball is, well, it's not quite historical epic fantasy, but it's pretty close. It takes place in a world kind of populated by different villages who have their own guilds, warriors guild, hunters guild, caretakers guild, that sort of a thing. And belonging to one of these guilds is the young hunter slash warrior Mathgowan, which I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it a little bit wrong. It's Celtic in base, and my knowledge of Gaelic is a little bad, but well, ignore my pronunciation. I'll put the spelling of the name up on the screen so that y'all can figure out how to pronounce it yourself. Anyways, he kills a bear, and once he kills this bear, he hears the voice of the bear's spirit, or what he assumes is the bear's spirit, and the bear's spirit then tells him how to progress in his endeavors to kind of improve life for his village, and then eventually unite his village with others and become a great chieftain and all sorts of things. And all through this, the spirit is there giving him advice and telling him how to kind of do things and that sort of a thing. So it's a very intricate novel. This has a lot of detail about the life in the village and how things have changed over time and relationships between people and that sort of a thing, and I thought that was a very nice touch. I really liked it. Sometimes the intricacies can go too far in novels like this. I don't think this one did that at all. I think the detail was kind of the perfect amount, and I liked it quite a bit for what it was. It kind of dealt with, you know, let's make alliances here instead of doing battle this way, and if we're over here in this area, then it's a different situation than over here in this area, and that sort of a thing, and I liked that. It made it more alive, kind of, which can be a little difficult in historical epic fantasy novels like this one, but it was good. I liked it. What was I going to say? Oh yes, the character. Mathgowan is... I like him a lot. I think he's kind of subdued at first. He's not really sure of his own success, but even once he gets to be sure of his own success and he is taking charge, becoming chieftain, that sort of thing, he still feels enough sort of... what's the word? It's not tentative. Sort of somewhere between humble and what's that word? Somewhere between humble and tentative, and I can't figure out what the word is, but it's driving me crazy. Where he just kind of, he knows that he believes in his own success, but he also is willing to listen to others, and I liked that a lot. A lot of times I see characters that kind of just like, yeah, I got the power now, I know exactly what I'm doing. Everyone else is just kind of trying to take me down and that sort of thing. And there was some of that in this, but a lot of it was more to do with questioning his own ability and talking with the spirit and what's the spirit's advice versus what other people are saying and that sort of a thing. And I think that worked out very well. He's a good character. I liked him quite a bit. I think there were some pieces that were a little rushed, like the situation with Kacht, which I want pronounced German, but I'm pretty sure is not pronounced that way either. Again, I'll write it out for you. That felt a little rushed. It was a nice relationship. I think it worked out very well for the story. It was very, very well done, but it was a little rushed at the beginning. My major critique for this novel is the dialogue. In substance, it was very good. It moved the story along very well, and it got information conveyed appropriately for each character. However, the form of the dialogue was very roundabout. For example, they would say something like, "I do stand upon the shores of our fathers and do X." If you do that every now and again, it's perfectly fine. We can read our way around it. We know exactly what it means. It's not clunky. If you only see it every now and again, it kind of lends an extra bit of formality to the situation. But when it's done every sentence, all the time, then it becomes very wearying to read. It's like reading accents. Mark Twain, in his books, where he writes the accents out phonetically, and you have to kind of figure out, okay, what are these people saying, and what's the accent, and that sort of a thing. It can be effective, but it's also a little clunky to read, and I felt like this was that. There were no accents depicted here, not that I picked up on anyways. It was just sort of whatever my brain came up with. The characters were speaking sort of a thing, which is fairly standard for me. But that extra verbiage, that extra do construction, "I do stand here and speak in whatever," that's really clunky. It's not passive, although there was a fair bit of passive use in the dialogue, which fit with this construction, because sometimes passive can be used as a more formal construction. But this construction is do construction. It's not an active past tense. It is a past tense. You are technically being an active agent. I do this, I do that. But it also isn't the same thing as I stand here. I do stand here. There's a subtle difference, and it's a little clunky. And so the dialogue was like that throughout the entire book. I feel like it progressed more as you got into the book, and it became more formalized and more clunky. But it was such a good book, and it had such a good message, and I was a little disappointed that the dialogue was so very stiff and a little difficult to read. You can certainly be formal. I have no problem with formality in dialogue. It adds an extra element of characterization that I really like. But if you do things like that all the time, it's very overwhelming. So on the whole, I did like this book. I really did. I thought it was a very good book. Again, I thought it had a great message. I won't spoil it for you, but it's a good book. I think the intricacy was great. I made the world feel very realistic. The characters were interesting to read, and I liked them. My only critique is the dialogue. Not the substance, again, just the form. So if you are able to kind of read around that sort of thing, or if it doesn't bother you, this is a great book for you. Absolutely read it. And even if you aren't a huge fan of it, I do recommend this book. It's very nice. And you do get through the dialogue. So you just kind of have to read through, and you can almost skim over it, but I wouldn't recommend it because you miss some of the important meat of the situation. Yeah. Anyways, that's what I've got for you this week. As usual, the links are in the description box below. You can find them there. You can find my links there too. I have, still waiting on author copies. And then if I go this way, which was what I meant to do originally, I have a new book out here on the romance side of things. I don't know if you know I wrote romance too. I'm very excited. This comes out this next week. Oh, wow, that's exciting. No, wait. Hold on, I can do math. It comes out on Friday. Yeah, I'm super proud of these. I'm very excited. I'll leave the links for that in the description box below also. Anyways, go cause some trouble, go read a book, and I shall see you next time. Bye.